Hey there, church. As we keep going through these days together, I just want to share a brief word about the life that we're living. First off, we are living as the church. Here are some ways that we're doing that. We're gathering for worship, those of us who are able, through Facebook Live. We're praying every day, some of us, with morning devotions. We are engaging with our families in spiritual practices. We are giving calls to each other. I've heard stories about church members calling church members, people making masks for each other, people going to homes in appropriate ways, not going inside, but just driving by and saying hi. In all kinds of ways, we're starting to be creative in how we can gather in these days when our gatherings are limited. The session met last night, and we are going to continue to stay out of the building past May 1st. We're going to keep our distance so far, the best we can tell, through the month of May. That's something that can change if guidance from the state makes it clear that gathering in certain ways is going to be safe and okay. And when that becomes possible, then we'll make some changes and let you know how we will gather, taking all the health and safety precautions in mind that we need to. But until then, we're going to keep in solidarity with our neighbors, staying at home. And something that I think the church can offer is some spiritual perspective on staying at home, practicing, you could call it isolation, but you could also call it solitude. The truth is that being alone together isn't new to the church. This is something that's actually very, very old. In the early centuries of the church, there were men and women who left the cities to go into the desert, and they formed monastic communities where they spent a lot of their time alone, just in their cells, as they called them, the little caves or huts where the monks sat and prayed in solitude. But they also did this in community. So this combination of time spent alone and time spent together, and knowing that our solitude actually somehow binds us closer to the people that we are apart from, this is deep, deep, deep in the knowledge that the church has for what it means to grow spiritually. So with this email, I'm attaching a couple of articles that describe some of this wisdom, written by contemporary Christians who are suggesting that these coronavirus days are actually days in which we can do some real spiritual work to come more alive to God, more alive to ourselves, and enter into solidarity with the human family and the suffering that we are all going through on different levels. Not to try just to cope with these days or just to get through them. We're doing that on some level, but also to make ourselves open to how God would work in us and somehow work through us, so that on the other side of these days, some of the deep Christian virtues that come from being open to God through our trials, these deep Christian virtues can help us to live a deeper, a renewed, a profounder Christ-following life because of how we've let God work on us. So we're going to keep being the church, and let's really be at it. Let's be intentional. Let's keep loving God, sharing relationship, serving others from the heart of Christ.